Hello there everyone, welcome back to another video about a children's trading card game. I'm almost home, not really, still got the odd setup here, but hopefully the camera quality will be improving soon. But what I wanted to do today is talk about these black card reveals for the Navy starter deck and just kind of go over how excited I am and why I think these are going to be really, really powerful. So let's just go ahead and get started. And I think the best way to highlight how this deck is going to play is we'll talk about the leader, Sakazuki. So usual stuff here: 5 life. You can only use black cards, 5,000 power. It's specially attributed. Once per turn, you pay 3, trash a card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's characters that costs 0. So this is an expensive effect, right? Let's not pretend it isn't. Paying 3 is a lot, and if you've ever played a deck like Doflamingo, which requires you to, pay 2, essentially pay 3 as well because you need to don 2 and then pay 1, you can get a feel for how awkward this is potentially going to be. That being said, if you can make it live, and obviously there are pretty much no cost zeros in the game. I don't think there are any cost zeros in the game at the moment, but like the idea is this deck is going to reduce costs. If you can make this live consistently and be getting value by removing lots of your opponent's units, then this is absolutely going to be worth it. Losing a card from your hand and paying 3 is absolutely worth it if you're dealing with a big threat. So I think the main thing is going to be with this card is not using it too aggressively. You want to use it when it's actually giving you value because it's an expensive cost. But let's go through some of the support cards, so maybe there's a little more context for why this card I think is going to be so good. So we start with a 1-drop Kobe. It's got a counter of 1k, it's a 2k striker. On play, you may trash one card from your hand, cap to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 0. I don't think this is very good. This essentially converts 2 Don you'd have to pay into losing an additional card from your hand, which personally I'm not a massive fan of. I feel like I'd rather just pay the Don. I understand that this is sometimes just going to enable you to do it when you wouldn't otherwise be able to, but I don't know, maybe this will be a decent inclusion. I do feel like this will leave the deck fairly soon. It doesn't seem to be anything particularly strong to me, but I could be wrong. A card that I don't think will be leaving the deck anytime soon, though, is Smoker. So this is a 5-drop 7k power unit, okay? So the first thing to say is this is vanilla stats, right? Like, as of the set 1 baseline standard, vanilla stats are on a 5-drop are 7,000 power. So anything we're getting on this card is kind of already a bonus. This character cannot be carried by card effects, so this is something that's going to be immune in the mirror. It's going to be immune to a lot of the removal that's running around right now, like that's present in like purple or in greens KOing rested cards. So this is like already a really, really good effect. On top of that, Don 1, as long as there is a character that costs 0 in play, this character gains double attack. So now you can use Smoker to apply huge amounts of pressure and get even more value when you're about to kill one of your opponent's units. As long as the unit you're killing basically isn't a blocker, this is going to be really, really strong. I am a massive fan of this card. I think, the fact that it's got vanilla stats alone is going to make it, really, really valuable, just hitting those big numbers. It doesn't have a counter, which is obviously that trade-off. It's not exactly vanilla, but I think you're getting enough there that it is worth it. I think this card is really, really strong. Then we've got Sengoku. This is another really strong one in my opinion. So this is a 5-drop 6k unit. It has to counter 1k. When attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 to their cost during this turn. So this is going to be something that's going to enable you to actually start getting that removal train rolling. And I think this deck, I get the feeling, is going to be really difficult and awkward to get the hang of playing because you need to exactly structure when you're doing your attacks, when you're removing stuff, to ensure that you're not basically leaving your whole board vulnerable to just getting cleared. Because I think if you lose board in this deck, you're definitely going to lose. Until we see some sort of crazy comeback cards, which the deck may get. At the moment, it definitely feels like this is a deck where you have to win board, and then once you've won board, you are vibing because your opponent's never going to be able to come back. Outside of like Tendril Kaido. So yeah, this is a super good card in my opinion. Well, I don't know if it's super good. This is pretty good. I think it's an enabling card. I wish it was a little cheaper. I do wish it was like a 4-drop 5k or something. That would make it slightly easier to swallow. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. this latest reveal is Hina, and this card I think is really, really strong. This is a 3-drop 5k. I think early meta has shown how 3-drop 5ks are really, really nice. This doesn't have a counter, which sucks, but on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -4 to their cost during this turn. So this, combined with the leader effect, obviously means that you can remove any 4-drop or lower straight up. This combos with some other cards we'll see that could potentially be really, really nice. But I think, you know, the fact that this is just gonna give you board presence, and you can use it to combo and like remove opponents' threats, or, you know, trigger a smoker like double attack, for example, to apply pressure. I think this is a really, really good card. But obviously, like Okiku, we may see it fall off. Obviously, with this card, you gain the value immediately, right? So you're not actually concerned if it gets killed by your opponent. You're like, fine, whatever, I already got my value. So we will need to see, but yeah, I do think this card is really, really good. And we've got the Giga Chad himself as the other SR in this deck, Monkey D. Garp. So this is a 5-drop 6k striker. Activate main. Discard one card and rest this card. K up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters. So this is another really interesting card. Obviously, this is a hefty cost. You don't get to attack with this, which means the turn you play it, that's fine, but every turn after that, it's something you're going to have to consider. And you discard a card. But then you get to KO one of your opponent's cost 4 or lower characters. So the turn you play this, I feel like if you're playing this on curve or something, like, that's really good. If your opponent has committed like a whole turn to playing a 4-drop, this is really strong. It's a 6k body, so you probably, like, more than likely are actually going to be able to protect it when your opponent attacks into it on that turn. Later on in the game, though, this suddenly combos really well with a Hina, for example, when you've got 8 Don. This is suddenly going to be able to kill 8 drops, right? Like, that's everything, you know, like, that's basically the entire format. I can't, off the top of my head, think of, like, maybe Mihawk, 9-drop Mihawk, you know, like, this is functionally killing everything, and you can do it the turn you play it, right? So you can just go have this Hina Garp combo where you instantly nuke an 8-drop. Which can be really good. That's something that, you know, Purple is running around being really difficult to stop, because once they start playing their, like, massive units, you can't really attack into them, because, like, you're giving your opponent way too much value. You kind of just, like, go face and just really do your best to kill them fast, because once they start, you know, getting those big units out, you're kind of just going to lose. So, yeah, I think Garp is a really, really strong card. Combos really well. And I think we should talk about this final card here to contextualize that even more. Great Eruption. This is a 1-drop event here. Main, draw 1 card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during their turn, and as a trigger, your opponent can trash a card from their hand. So both these effects are really, really good. Obviously, the trigger effect is rarely going to happen, so we're really talking about the main one here. This is going to be nice for just, you know, edging some stuff into range, right? So you Great Eruption Garp, you can kill a 6-drop or lower. That's almost everything, right? Like, functionally, that's everything you're going to care about. That's every big blocker in the game, I'm pretty sure. Like, anything you are realistically caring about, this is going to deal with. You know, the other thing to say about this Garp Hina combo is it deals with 8 cost Kid, which is incredible. Like, in just having that built-in out 8 cost Kid is really, really strong. You can combo 2 of these to deal with a Kid with Garp. This will let you deal with cheap things with Akainu. That obviously losing net 1 card from hand and 4 Don to kill a 2-drop doesn't seem particularly stonks to me, so we'll need to see. This card might not end up being super great in practice, but I mean, the fact that you get a replacement card is really nice. So it's definitely more of a combo piece. But yeah, so overall, I think very early days, obviously. We're still missing. Well, I think this is probably every single card in the deck. There's a unit that doesn't have a counter from the start of the deck already. I feel like the rest have to have it. We need to see, like, the main thing I want to see is what is the 2k counter lineup for black going to be, right? Like, that's one of my really big interests, because we've seen just how important it is to just be able to guard stuff, right? Like, you need to be having these big counters. And the other thing I'm curious about is if they're going to be able to get ways to deal with, because at the moment, right, like, this deck deals with really expensive cards actually quite efficiently. It feels like, you know, with cards like Garp, it's just really, really good. But you know, Akainu is so expensive that firstly I want to see more ways to, like, potentially be getting that Akainu effect off that are reducing cost by 5 potentially, because I think there's a lot of 5 costs, a lot of 6 costs. So, you know, that plus Great Eruption maybe isn't an unreasonable thing, or some sort of, I don't know, loopable thing. But I also just, like, want to see ways to remove cheaper things. You know, like, remove costs 1 or cost 2s, right? Like, I think cost 1s is a very reasonable thing to expect, because there's so many cheap blockers that people play, that just being able to out them is really going to help this deck stand out. At the moment, my initial impression as well is that this feels like it's going to have a weaker matchup against decks like Zoro, but a stronger matchup against the bigger decks. But of course, I could be entirely incorrect. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're excited for the black deck drop. Expect another video when we get the whole starter deck, which will probably be on the black stuff anyway, which should be in the next couple of weeks, I believe, because we get the starter deck revealed like a week before it actually drops. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys are too. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Join my Discord server, and I'll see you guys in the next One Piece video. Cheers.